Me Plus 3 is so what this is, I want all of you to write this down, because this is if you want to have meet your goals. And if you're on this call, I'm believing that you're here because you want to be part of the big money group. If you knew you wouldn't fail, and I want you to raise your hands, how many of you would say, I want to make big money? If you knew you wouldn't fail. And if I could show you to do it in just 4 party time slots a week, and you could make a 6-figure income, how many of you would follow my lead and take a chance and do what is being said to do? Good. Because here's what that's what we're going to talk about. So I want you to write this down, okay? It is Me Plus 3 parties every week. If you want to make a 6-figure income, if you want to be able to quit your full-time job, if you want to guarantee you're going to earn everything Dove gets, hold 3 parties every week. Not 3 parties some week, not 3 parties on the week you feel like it, but 3 parties. And if that means you have to book 4 or 5 a week, book 4 or 5. Me Plus 3 recruits every month. You're getting the picture now, so you don't have to write the Me Plus 3 every time. Me Plus 3 leads from every party. The only excuse you have of not identifying 3 people you want to work with at every party is because there's not 3 people there. You've got to look at the 3 that are there or more and say, out of these people, who are my best bets? And we'll be talking more about recruiting in the upcoming weeks. Me Plus 3 Coco chats every single week. So if you identify 3 people at 3 parties, that's 9 people a week you're identifying. You're going to approach them. You're going to invite them to Coco chat. And I can tell you, if you're asking 9 a week, 3 are going to say yes. By the time you learn how to invite them, I promise you it's going to happen. And if you're talking to 3 people a week, that's 12 people a month, you're going to have 3 new people on the team. So that's really important that you know that, okay? The next thing is Me Plus 3 leaders every quarter. So when you're recruiting like that, you're going to be able to promote a leader every month in your organization. It may not always be a frontline leader, but you're going to be teaching others to do the same. And then Me Plus 3 managers a year. And then you teaching 3 people a year to do the same. Okay? So that way you're building a duplicatable system. Now, the trick to this is the only business in the world that you don't have to increase what you do on a daily basis or a weekly basis. So if you do Me Plus 3 from now till the cows come home, your check is going to grow every single month, and you never have to do more than that. But here's what happens so often. So often people get excited, their team starts growing, their paycheck starts growing, and they think, oh, I don't have to hold as many parties because I'm making more money on my team now. Well, people don't last forever. And why would you want to quit work? Why would you want to work less and make the same than just keep working the same and make more? Does that make sense to everybody? Why would you want to work less and make the same instead of work the same and make more? And so that's what's really important. And if you'll follow this cycle, you will find that it works. I tell people all the time, if you go and hold 3 parties a week, every single week, never fail, for an entire year, and you pick 3 people out of that party every single week, no fail, and if you recruit 3 every month, never fail, promote 3 leaders every month, you're going to be making a 6-figure income within 2 years and probably within a year. And I used to tell people all the time, I'll write you a check for $1,000 out of my account if you come to me in 2 years and you're not making that. I'll up that to $10,000. I am that convinced that if you do that, because you can't help but grow. So at the end of the year, you've got 36 personal recruits. Don't you think, and you're going to teach at least 3 people to do that. So at the end of the year, you've got at a minimum 90-something recruits. You're probably going to have 200 because other people are going to recruit 1, 2, 3 here. By the end of 2 years, you're probably going to have about 300 because you're going to gain some and lose some, right? Some are going to drop off. but you're still doing those parties. You're still promoting those leaders. You've got 24 leaders, so probably, let's say 12 every month are getting paid at title or still in the business. You're going to have at least 6 managers. You're going to be a director. In fact, you're going to be a senior director. You're going to be making a 6-figure income, but you've got to do the work. So some of you heard this earlier today. So let's go back to our Olympics and Simone Biles. I'm so intrigued with her. And I was reading an article about her last night, and it says, like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, she goes to the gym from this time to this time, Tuesdays and Thursdays from this time to this time, and Saturdays at this time. And she doesn't go to the gym on Sundays. Let me ask you something. About 4 weeks ago, as Simone Biles was preparing for the Olympics, let's say one of her tumbling runs wasn't coming together like she wanted. Do you still think she took Sunday off? Do you think she left the gym at 6 o'clock just because it was time to leave? Because she had put in her time? No, if you want gold, you work till you get it. So even though on our 21 Days to Success, and I'll go ahead and tell you what that's all about, it is about talking to 3 people a day. If you're not getting the results from talking to 3 a day, talk to 5. If you're not getting your results from talking to 5 a day, talk to 7. Talk to as many people as you need. The reason, just like Simone Biles has gym hours, because she knows she has to create a habit and be consistent. But when you're not getting what you want, you don't go, well, I work the hours. That's not going to change your results, right? And some of you that don't know me, I can be a little sarcastic. I apologize. But I have an hour, and I want you guys to get as most of it as you can out of it. So I'm pretty direct and straightforward. So I want you to know that you can't have it all. I had it all. My kids were 4 months, 2 and 4. I'll tell you my story really quick, and then I'm going to come back and tell you what 21 Days to Success is. My kids were 4 months, 2 and 4 when I started in this industry 26 and a half years ago. And the main reason I started is we needed money. I mean, quite honestly, we needed money. And we needed our bills paid a little bit easier at the end of every month. We needed a second car, and we could barely make the car payment we had already. So I needed money. I had just moved here from Canada. I'd only been living here 4 months in Texas. I knew about 4 or 5 people that I could call to book a party. I couldn't even have a launch, not like you guys. There was no Facebook, there was no internet, there was none of that. I only knew the people I could touch because I was what they called a stranded homemaker. My husband at the time, my kid's dad, took the car to work every day. He was in the restaurant business, and I was stuck at home without a vehicle. Now, I could have taken him to work, but I'm not getting 3 little babies out of bed at 3 in the morning to go pick him up. No way. So I was very limited to the people I know. I could walk to our church. I could walk to a park. My kids weren't in school yet. I was very limited, but I was determined. I remember when I joined, my background for 15 years was with Tupperware. And I remember the lady that helped me get my business started. And I remember saying to her, but I can't do this because I don't know anybody who would keep my kids. And she goes, when you book a party, you'll find a sitter. Well, I don't know how I'm going to get to a party. When you book a party, you'll find a way. She did not let me live in any excuse. And I'm so glad. Listen, we borrowed a car for 4 months. A ragtag automobile that every time we got in it, we thought was going to fall apart. Because didn't y'all know those people who have that family member that calls themselves a mechanic, but they always have 4 broken down vehicles in their yard? Well, that's who we borrowed a car from, right? So but I wanted it so bad. I wanted a better life. Within 2 years on a really crappy comp plan, because back then when you were in Tupperware, if I promoted you to leader, I only got to count you for 16 weeks and I never made another dime on you ever again. None of this forever stuff like we've gotten here. I was making a 6-figure income in 2 years, working from home, raising my kids without them going to daycare. Now, if I can do it, you can do it. There is nothing special about me. I was a 25-year-old stay-at-home mom without a college degree that just needed money. And I had a driving force, and I want you to have the same thing. But let me tell you, Marilyn Harris, when I started in the business, she told me, don't freak out. Laura, your job is to hold. First, she asked me what I wanted to do. We made a calendar, and we'll talk about that in a later class. I told her I'd do 3 parties a week, okay? After we made my calendar, I saw I could do more than 3. After I became a leader, she said, your job is to hold 5 to 7 parties a week and talk to 5 people a week about selling Tupperware. And I had to turn in a written report every week. I didn't know I could say no. But I also knew that this woman who had been already doing it for 11 years, so now she's been doing it for 37 years, was not going to lead me astray. And I saw the success of all the people around me, and I wanted that. So why would I not do what she said? And I can remember I did turn this report in every Monday on Sunday nights going, oh my gosh, I've only talked to 4 people. Who can I talk to? I've only talked to 3 people about the business, like a Coco chat, an interview. And I would be like looking for people to talk to because they told me I would be successful if that is what I would do. Guess what? I was highly successful. Within 5 years, I was the #1 manager in the entire United States because I did what they told me to do. Did I like it? Was I tired? Yes. Was it worth making the 6-figure income and having the life that I've had for the last 26 years? Absolutely. This industry has made me in 26 years millions and millions of dollars, and on a crappy comp plan. Let me just tell you, you lose your income off people after 16 weeks when they promote to leader, and I still promoted more than anyone else to leader because I wanted people to have what I had, and I knew I could do the work. So I want you to have the same thing, but you've got to trust me, and you've got to do the work. Who's here is willing to get ready and go do the work? If you really want it, it's time to do it, okay? So 21 Days to Success starts tomorrow. What a 21 Day to Success program is it is your responsibility to find 3 people a day to have a conversation with about booking a party or joining your team. Very specific. Not about, oh, I sell chocolate, you ought to think about it. That's not. You are going to be at the end of every day, and I have a form I'm going to find out and send you. You're going to write them down. You're going to write what the reaction was and what the end result was. But you've got to know the question you asked. If I say to you, okay, Shanna, what did you ask them? You've got to be able to tell me I asked them if they want to have a party. You're going to have to tell me, how did you ask them? I'm not checking up on you. I want to help you because if the end of 15 days you haven't booked a party or recruited anyone, we might need to tweak your words, right? If you're doing the work, I'll tell you, I'll be quite honest, results come even if you ask the wrong way enough. Seriously, you can just go, I'm going to tell y'all that you're going to remove the words, do you want to join my team and do you want to have a party, and you're never going to say them again, ever, because that's not a good way to ask. But you know what, if you did that, if you went out today and you asked 100 people, hey, I do Dove chocolate tasting parties, do you want to have a party, which is not the right way to do it, someone's going to say yes if you ask enough people. But you can get more yeses as we learn to ask the right way, okay? So I want to help you do that. I want to be there to support you. And that's what our coaching groups are going to be about. You're going to come together with a team of people that you're doing this training with, and you're going to be held accountable to each other. Now, does life happen? Yes. Are you going to go the very first time through and never miss a day in 21 days? I hope so. But it's not going to happen for 100% of you. Make your goal to be the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4 that it does, but life's going to happen. Okay? I have to tell you, I really respected a lady that told me, I'm never going to do 21 days, Lori. I'm going to do 6 days 4 times. So she did 20. She goes, because I choose to never do any business on Sunday. Now, if that is her strong, strong, strong conviction, then that is her choice. Here's what I can tell you. I know it takes 21 days to make a habit. I understand everybody has their own thoughts and beliefs, and I have mine, and I'm very strong in my faith. But I'm still okay with talking to 3 people on a Sunday about a fabulous opportunity. I might change their life. Marilyn Harris changed my life 26 and a half years ago. So whatever you need to do. So if you miss a day, you start over. So let's say you get all the way to day 13 and you miss day 14, you start back at day 1. So we're going to be sharing this, and we're going to talk about your results every single week because I want to help you. But I do know life happens. So that is step 1 of your homework for this. It will be ongoing through the entire 6-week series. Even if you make it 21 straight days, you'll start again. You can take a couple days off if you want, but you're not going to want to. Christy Salmon's on our call tonight, coming back through again for the 3rd time, right, Christy? Is this your 3rd time?
Yes, this is my 3rd time.
And let me tell you, so Christy told me last time when she was coming through a 2nd time, my business was at its best when I was doing 21 days and being held accountable. Now, Christy can do 21 days on her own. However, Christy's being a role model to her team members now and joining them on the training so that she can partner with them. So she will tell you, Samantha Sherrill spoke about it at National Conference when she said, what happened? All of a sudden I found myself in 21 days to success and I recruited a team and promoted to team leader. So it works. So just make your plan for your obstacles. So I can't remember who it was, but recently I had someone that said, I do really good, but all of a sudden Monday hits and I mess up. I'll make it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday comes. And so that's why we talk about it, because we identified a conflict for her. And so she made a plan. How am I going to overcome Mondays? And some of you live in areas where today I told a group that they needed to start a 21 day to success. And I said to one of them, I'll call them, but not by their name, Susie Q, you may have to leave for work an hour early every day because she's always saying I don't have enough people to call. Well, you may have to leave for work an hour early and stop at a gas station and stop at a grocery store and stop. If you want it bad enough, you'll find a way to do it. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. Here's one of my favorite sayings. Write this down. You can make money or you can make excuses, but you can't make both. Which do you choose? You can make money or you can make excuses, but you can't make both. Which are you going to choose? And I remember the first time that was said to me when I was whining a little bit, about probably 25 and a half years ago. And my mentor, not Marilyn, one that started to mentor me later, looked me straight in the eye and she was, Laura, you can make money, you can make excuses, but you can't make both. Which one do you want? And I was going through a pretty difficult, true time in my life, but she knew I needed the income so she could let me whine and no income, and then I'd really be whining, right? Or she could call me on it and say, what do you choose? So I share that with you to help you see. I am so here to support you. I can't wait to have everybody. Somebody asked me yesterday, what is the most moment? What was your number one most proud moment in your business ever in 26 years? And you know what my most proud moment is? Was the first time I handed a brand new set of car keys to a brand new car to someone. It wasn't about something I accomplished. It's about someone like you that I worked with and what they accomplished. My second proudest moment, and her name's Tanya Ferrero. She's still a really good friend of mine. When Tanya and I made a 6-month plan for her to quit her job and stay home with her baby Jay, who's now who's now a freshman in college, and she was able to do it in 3 months instead of 6. I promise you, and as you build your team is going to be like your children. You're going to be more proud of their accomplishments. When I sat at the table with Christy the night at our national conference, and I stood on the stage and I called out her name and watched her face light up because she had no clue she was going to be getting awards at national conference. Let me tell you, I don't know if she could see my face, but I was fighting back tears of joy and excitement. And I was trying so hard not to look at her when I was saying her name to give it away. And that's exactly what you're going to get. And that's what's so wonderful about this. So what does this take? It takes being a leader, and not a leader in the form of a title at Dove, but a leader in the form of leading other people. So every morning when you wake up, you need to ask yourself, Am I doing yesterday, did I do the activities that I would want my team to do? And if I were hiring me, would I hire me today or fire me today after yesterday's work? I mean, that's a tough question some days, isn't it? Here's the beauty. Some days you're going to say, I'd fire me. But here's the really big beauty. You don't have to fire you. You just get to start all over and do it again. I fired myself a few times. There are times I had this momentary breakdown for 10 minutes that I never want to do it again. And then when I started thinking about, but what all are you going to miss? What are all the good things? I'd hire myself right back. But it's okay to have that meltdown. Just don't live in it. Let it go. Have your 10-minute pity party, stomp your feet, go outside and scream to the top of your lungs. Let me tell you one thing. I hope nobody's going to be offended by this word, but I've got to say it because it's the only word that's going to really make sense. Don't bitch about your business to your mate. Whatever you do, don't bitch about your business to your mate. Sorry, I could have said whatever, but that's just the word. Here's the deal. I think we're all ladies on this call. And I don't know your faith or background, but this is my belief. I'm not trying to impart it on anyone else, but I believe that God gave men this innate thing inside of them to protect their women. If you have sons, I'm looking at Jackie. She knows what I'm talking about. Our sons they are protective. And the older they get, the more protective they get. Our husband's job, so if let's say, especially when you're early in the business and you're not making a lot of money, and let's say you come home and you are just so mad your host didn't do anything you told her to. You drove an hour and a half and you got there and there were only 3 people there and you didn't make any money. First off, he might have been home keeping the kids. And he's thinking, well, if you're not making any money and I'm having to stay home and we're not together, then just quit. Right? That's what they're going to say. I'm telling you. They're going to say, just quit. Not because they don't think you're capable. They're protecting you. They don't want you upset. But also, when the money's coming in, you still shouldn't gripe to them about it. Since I'll quit using that word now that I've gotten across. You shouldn't gripe about it, but they are going to be more tolerant. Trust me, when you're making a 6-figure income and you gripe, they're not going to go just quit. They're going to help you look good. But when you're for most guys, even if you're making $500 a month, unless you're just really, really in a financial bind like I was when I started, $500 to us was life-changing, and maybe it is for some of you right now. It definitely was for me. But right now, if I was only making $500 in the lifestyle that I live today with the income that I have, and I came home griping, my husband, well, just forget about it. Don't do it. We can live without that because he wants me to be happy, right? So it's really, really important that you do that. Second thing is, those of you with young children, when you come, if your spouse is keeping his children or their children, or maybe it's not even theirs, but y'all are sharing responsibility. When you come home from a party, don't go, oh my gosh, I had the best party in the entire world. I had a $500 party and I'm just blah, 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 blah. He's thinking, the kids cried for 3 hours. You were at a party. I was at work all day. I hate my job. And now I kept the kids and you just had a blast. They're not kind of liking it, right? So I had to learn to come in and go, so how was your night? And if they've had a good night, they're going to say, so how was your party? And you get to then share your excitement. But if they don't ask, don't tell. That's not the military saying, I promise. But if they don't ask about how it went, don't blubber all over them. Give them. Now, yes, we would love for them to come home from work and do the same thing. But we are women and we think with our heart, and they are men and they think with their head. And that is just the way we're made up. In general, there's exceptions to every rule. But come in and find out what happened? How was everything tonight? What happened with kids? Da, 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 da. Make it as best of a transition. I do not believe our children's fathers babysit, but somewhere in their brain, sometimes they think they do. I also don't believe I babysat when I was a full-time stay-at-home mom. I was momming and he's daddying, But sometimes we have to work people into that. Why do I share this? And you're going, that's not in this book. Because that's a leader behavior. It's things we have to learn and we have to teach others. And if you can, share these things as you start to bring people on board early on, just in passing. So what does a leader do? You have to walk the walk and talk the talk and walk the talk. Okay? It's really important. Leaders, I'm looking at you and I'm so excited because all of you look professional. You don't have stuff going on in your background. You're doing what a leader does. You are being engaged, right? Can you imagine if I had my kids running behind me and y'all are trying to listen to me? It's not engaging. It's distracting. And it says, you're not my number one focus. And as a leader, when I'm talking to you, you are my number one focus. Has anyone on this call, and I'm trying to think who I've talked to, Amy, Christy, when we were having a phone call, has anybody ever had me put them on hold that you can remember? And you never will. Because I believe whoever I'm talking to, there's Dina, I've had some calls with Dina. I believe whoever I'm talking to is the most important person in my business. Now, if Michelle calls me 6 times during our call and my phone's just ringing off and off and off, I might say, hey, do you mind? Michelle's called me 6 times. It must be pretty urgent. But I don't put you on hold for my husband. Oh, wait, I do need to tell you, I will put you on hold for my daughter because she calls me about once a year. So she calls, there's a problem. She texts me all day and that kind of thing. But if Alex calls me in the middle of the day, there must be a huge, even John Wyckoff and Michelle know that. If Alex calls, I answer. If the boys call, they'll call back. But she's my introvert and I got to get it. But in fact, I hated caller ID when it was popular. Because to me, it was so rude. I'd be talking to them and they go, hold on, somebody's calling me. You don't even know, call waiting before caller ID. You don't even know who it is and you think that might be more important than me? So walk the walk, talk the talk, and walk the talk. Dress professionally. Only do what can be duplicated. That's why we do this. Master the fundamentals. All we're going to talk about in this crazy 6 weeks is recruiting, booking, and the things that go along with it, developing, wash, rinse, repeat. We're just going to keep talking about the same thing. Why? Because that's all you need to know how to do. And what you're going to really get excited about is you're going to find out that there is one technique that works for everything. If you can book, you can recruit, and you can develop. It's all about asking questions, identifying that prospect's needs, wants, and desires, showing them how it can happen, paying compliments, and filling that need and going forward. And it works for booking, recruiting, and developing. All you've got to do, and it's one practice. So you're going to identify and pay compliments if you want to write it down. You're going to ask questions to learn more about whether it's the person having a party, person you're wanting to recruit, or the person you're wanting to develop to a leader. You're going to show them how that with what they have and what they want, we have a solution. And then you're going to offer the opportunity. And it's going to be really exciting. And you're going to go, wow, she's right. There's only one thing that I have to really know how to do. And just repeat it over and over again. So do what can be duplicated. Build your business from the top down. That means focus on you first. You are the only irreplaceable person in your business. Without you, there is no your business. Everybody else on your team's replaceable. But in their business, they're not replaceable. So you've got to build your business from the top down. If you don't have a strong party lineup, if you're not recruiting every month, if you're not following the Me Plus 3, you can't teach others to do it. If you've never done 21 days to success, you can't teach others to do it. You can't share why they should do it. Well, Laurie says, so what? Why does Simone Biles go to the gym? Because the people before her practiced outside their their hours. She watched those. Last night when I was watching them, they said, these were my idols. I watched them. I learned from them. I was a little girl. I wanted to be like them. How did they become like them? By doing what they did. Just like I said, we'll never lead you astray. Okay? So let's talk about, you've got to have goals. So I want you, part 2 of your homework. So part 1 is to start your 21 days to success and no excuses. I don't want to hear I didn't get started this week. You can't continue in the class if you're not at least trying. I said some of you won't make it 21 straight days. You'll have to start over. But I don't have a tolerance for I didn't do it because you're wasting your time spending an hour here. You obviously need that hour back to go book parties. Step 2 is you've got to have a goal. And you need a financial goal. There are people, I'm not going to put anyone on the spot, that would be rude. But sometimes I'm rude, I apologize. There are people that are going to tell you, and maybe you're one of them, I don't do this for the money. That is not true. It is not true. Because no one has ever sent John Wyckoff at their check back and said, I don't do this for the money so you can have this back. Right? We all want our money. Now, we may not need a certain amount. You may not be like I was and you need to make a car payment. But I'm going to use Ann Torsivia. Ann does this for her foundation, her son's foundation. She does not keep one dime of the money. It all goes to charity. However, she still does it for the money, right? Because she wants to give heavily to that foundation. So what is your driving force? What do you want from this business? I think it's great if you want adult outlets. I think it's great if you want to get better speaking skills. I think that's all great and fine. But none of that is going to get you up in the morning and make you go to work. You've got to know what are you working for and what is your work schedule. So you need to set a goal and you need to know what your work schedule is. How many times a week are you going to go to the office and your party is your office? So I'm going to tell you that you probably should have no less than 4 3-hour time slots. I did not say 4 days. I said 4 3-hour time slots on your calendar to do this business. So I want you to send me. So you might say, okay, every Tuesday night we bowl, so I'm not going to work Tuesday night. And Friday night's family night, so I'm not going to work Friday night. And my team tends to have their meetings and calls on Monday, and I want to keep this consistent. So I'm not going to work Monday night. But I do Promote with Passion on Wednesday right now. So my 4 3-hour time slots might be Thursday evening, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, and Saturday night. And because I want all day Sunday off. Okay? Or if you have a flex schedule, you might do a party Tuesday morning, Thursday night, and Saturday morning. I don't know what your schedule is going to be, but you need to know what your work hours are. And that is step 3, is to send me, what are your work hours? And right now, you know your work hours are Wednesday night. So maybe Wednesday night you have work hours to do all your kind of training kind of stuff. And that's where you're going to give that. And then you pick out 4 time slots some other time. But you want to have flexibility to hold 3 parties. Most of you are going to have to book 4, to be quite honest. Think life happens, right? And the best way to recruit is to have so many parties on your calendar you need help. It's great to go to a party and say, I can't put you on my calendar for 4 weeks, and I'm so sorry that next month's double hostess rewards. But if you want to join the business, you can hold your own party. And then
get that out of your mouth. Now.
Hold on. I think I got everybody now. Jackie, we can hear you.
Sorry.
So it's very important to know. So let me ask you this. How many of you work a job outside of Dove? Okay. So if your boss said, come to work anytime you want to, how often would you go? You wouldn't. Every morning you could wake up and find a reason not to go and say, well, I'll just do it tomorrow. So that's why it's important to have a Dove schedule, even if you have all the time in the world. You don't have kids, you don't have a husband, you don't have a job, you don't have anything on your life but Dove. So you say I can do it anytime. Anytime is not on the calendar. So you still need to know, when are you going to work your business? Now, I like routine. It's not going to stay the same forever, but try to pick 4 time slots that most of the time will work. And know that if something comes up on a Saturday and you normally hold 2 parties on a Saturday, maybe that week you're going to have to hold 2 on Sunday. And 1 on Wednesday night or 1 on Monday night when you don't normally do it to make up for it. So try to have a set routine. That will really, really help you. So step 3 is to send me your work hours. And I want you to, there's some really good information here about setting your goals. All right, next. This is a great little saying that I love, and it really helped me. I had it sitting on my desk for a long time. I didn't have a desk. I sat in the middle of my bed. Then my desk was in my bedroom for a very long time. And I had a little piece of just torn off yellow paper, and it said, write this down. If it's my intention to, and then draw a blank. If it's my intention to blank, where is my daily attention? So if it's my intention to earn Jamaica, where is my daily attention? Where should your daily attention be if it's your intention to earn Jamaica? Every day you should be working on booking parties, holding parties, and recruiting and developing, right? So you got to check yourself. Am I working on those things to grow my business? If it's your goal, if it's your intention to make a 6-figure income within 2 years, where should your daily attention be? On booking parties, recruiting, developing, and promoting leaders. So it'll help you to remember wherever you put your daily attention is what you're going to get in return. If your daily attention is put on cleaning your house and making meals and doing that, and you never touch Dove, you can't expect to get results. And what I find is a lot of us have good intentions and we think the business, but we don't do the business. And that is why I believe you have to write down your business. Have work hours, write down your contacts that you make every day so you can see it. So at the end of the day, you look and go, oh man, I didn't realize I only talked to 2 people today. I've got to find that 3rd one. Like I felt like at the end of every week, oh man, I got to find that 5th person to talk to about the business. Or, I've only got 2 parties on my calendar. So in our coaching group, each week you're going to tell me about your parties. So in our coaching group, you're going to tell me how many you have in the week we're talking, how many you have the next week, and how many you have the next week. And we're going to look to see where are your gaps? Are you booking too far out? We're going to learn a lot in those groups. So make sure you're writing it down so I can help you. Because if you don't remember and you don't know, you probably didn't do it. And I can tell you the most exhausting thing to do is think the business and not do the business, because thinking does not deliver results. Right? You got to do it to get results. So we have a few minutes left, and I want to take you through what we call the full service checkout. And then there's a section in here on booking, and I do want you to spend some time reading over that. But we will want to talk to you about your full service checkout. So a full service checkout is something that you're going to be doing at your parties. So when you go to your parties, there are 3 ways that we service people at our parties. Number 1 is through inviting them and giving them the opportunity to join our business. Number 2 is by giving them the opportunity to have as much fun as they had tonight with their friends and treating their friends to an evening of fun and chocolate. And number 3 is by getting referrals, okay? So when you do this, what I have found to help me be most successful at this so I don't ever forget is I have a stack of our Sweet Success recruiting brochures. I just drew a blank. Then I have my 4 host packs that I take to every party because I have a little saying, you're not through till you book 2. If you want more, book 4. So I take 4 hostess packs to every party. Y'all know I have lots of crazy little sayings, Loriisms here. And the 3rd one is a stack of index cards. And I usually have some little goodies. So what I'm going to do in a full service checkout is when you come over to check out with me, I'm going to say, so Ashley, I'm going to first make conversation with you. I'm going to ask questions that are going to put you in what I call the yes frame of mind. So I'm going to ask questions like, Ashley, did you have fun tonight? That makes her think. She's probably going to say yes, right? What were some of your favorite products? Didn't you love the blank? Yes, I love that. And I also love blah, blah, blah. Wouldn't it be great if you could have a chocolate indulgence every week and someone just take care of all your chocolate needs? Yes. So what am I doing is I'm making her stop, think, and not react, because our number one reaction word is no. How many of you on here are a mom? If you're not a mom, all of you are a child of someone. And at some point in your life, either you've been asked or you've asked the question, Mom, can I have a cookie? And you responded or were told no, with no thought, just no. Why do we do that? Because we can change a no to a yes. But once you say yes, man, don't you feel like you're locked in? If your kids are like my kids and I go, yeah, you can have a cookie, and then I go, no, you can't, Les, because you didn't eat your breakfast, you didn't eat your lunch, and it's an hour before dinner, so no. And he's going to say, but you just said yes. I mean, I'm sorry, my kids aren't perfect. So that's what's going to happen. Whereas if I say no, if I say yes, you can have a cookie, and then I say, you know what? Okay, let me go back. If I say yes, you can change it. If I say no, you can't have a cookie, but then I go, you know what? You ate all your lunch. It's still 2 hours to dinner. Yes, you can have a cookie. He's not going to go, nope, not going to take it. Not going to have that cookie. You said no first. So that's what we do, the same thing when people say, do you want to have a party? That's why we remove that from our vocabulary. Because the most common answer is going to be no. Because they just are in reactive mode and they know they can change their no to a yes. But if they say yes first, they're expecting, and then want to change it, they expect an argument. And they don't want to go there. So you want to get them in the yes frame of mind before you invite them to have a party. Okay? And you notice I use the word invite, not do you want to. I'd love to invite you to have as much fun as you had tonight. Treat your friends to the same thing, not be selfish and get all the free stuff. When would be a good time, a weekend or an evening? Whatever your days are. Way different. So you're going to ask that, and then you're going to say, Dina, I mentioned in the party that we have 3 ways to service you. Would it be okay if I told you about all 3 and see what works best for you? Get permission. People listen better if you get their permission to share. Okay? So Dina says yes. Say, well, the first way that I can service you is by this awesome opportunity. Dina, I noticed how much fun you were having tonight. You wanted to win all the games. You were so competitive. In fact, you cracked me up when you wouldn't even hardly spend your Dove dollars. You treated them like they were real money. It was fake money, Dina, but I'd love to give you some real money. And you know what? With your competitive spirit and your desire to win, you would be awesome at this. Have you ever thought about doing something like this alongside your family and other activities? Well, I kind of thought about making some extra money before the holidays, but never really thought about Dove. Well, tell you what, can you hang around for a little while after the party tonight and let's chat? It'll only take about 10 to 15 minutes. We can do it as soon as I get through checking everyone out. Well, Lori, I have to hurry up and get home. Well, how about tomorrow? Is there a time that I remember you saying you work that can I call you on your lunch hour or tomorrow after work? Quick responses, okay? And so let's say she says yes. I'm still not going to stop. I'm going to say, okay, so Dina, tomorrow when we talk, let's go ahead and get a party on the books for you. Because I know you said you had a lot of fun tonight. And if you decide to do this, it'll be your launch party. And if you don't, you'll just get lots of free stuff. But I bet you'll decide after we talk tomorrow that you want to make money and get free stuff instead of just getting free stuff. So when would be a good time to get your friends together? The only reason I don't go to step 3 right then is if she says, I get her on my books, I'm going to say, you know what? The third way I service you is through referrals. But I know you're going to be giving me lots of referrals or your own business referrals at your party. So we'll hold off on that. And if, for whatever reason you think of someone that doesn't come to your party and, whatever reason you're not doing this, but I know you will be. See, I keep sending that strong affirmation. You're going to do this. And so now she's starting to see herself. Then I'll get the referrals. But I literally, the reason I like to have 3 stacks is because it's when I say, can I share all 3 with you? I'm going to touch them. And she expects me to go down the line. Now, if she says no to the first 2, and when I get to referrals, I'm going to say, Dina, if you would just share this business with, did you have fun tonight? Yes. Do you have friends that you think would love some of these chocolate products? I know you said you couldn't have a party right now, but would you give me the names of maybe 2 people that you wouldn't mind reaching out to tonight on your way home, telling them how much fun you had, how awesome the product was, and about the opportunity, and leave me their name and phone number, and I'll call and let them know I'll call and follow up with them tomorrow and see how I can service them. When you do, I have this nice sample of our cinnamon dusted almonds, our let's say our, I don't know, our peanut butter, whatever you want to do, our sea salted caramels. I have a sample for you, and when one of them says yes to the opportunity of booking or a booking, I'm going to change this one sample into a whole box for you because we have 6-piece sea salted caramels. You can do it with coffee. You can take our new little sample coffee packs. And so now, but did you hear what I said? Will you call them and tell them how much fun you had and that I will be following up with them? So now when I call tomorrow, I'm going to say, you know, hey, Mara, this is Lori, and I know your friend Dina was giving you a call last night to tell you, she told me you were a chocolate lover, and she wanted to tell you all about the chocolate she had, and I just was hoping she'd shared with you about our business and our party. What do you think? Doesn't that sound fun? When would you like to get your friends together? So now Dina's done my work. She's prepped the phone call for me, so it's no longer a cold call. And that is what we call a full service checkout. We've provided all 3 services to every person. And you will start to see your, oh my gosh, y'all remind me next week. I got to come back to something real quick. We have 7 minutes. I skipped the power statement. I don't know how I did that. So that's your full service checkout. So your homework is at your parties this week between now and our next call is to use the full service checkout. Okay? And then share your results. All right, the most important thing is your power statement. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I skipped right over it. So every party, you need to start with what we call a power statement. A power statement sets the stage for what's going to happen. The best trainers and the best events you go to, and a learning event, and our parties are fun learning events, hopefully. The way they keep your attention is by telling you what they're going to tell you, and then telling you what they told you. So your power statement is the telling you what they're going to tell you. The party part is the telling, and your full service checkout is the telling you what they told you. So the best way to book parties is to let people know you're going to be asking them to have one. The best way to get recruits is by telling people you're going to ask them to join. And the best way to get referrals is by telling people that you're going to be asking for them. So a full service checkout sets the stage, and there's an example in here, but I'll share with you my example. And here's what I want you to listen for. I want you to listen for what's going to happen at the party, but I also want you to listen for how I position questions in my full service checkout so that I keep them engaged. Okay, because they're answering those questions in their head. So this is, I do a little bit different every time, but this would be something like my my power statement would be. So I want to welcome all you guys tonight to Dove Chocolate Discoveries, and I just want to thank Shanna especially for allowing me into her home and paying me the best compliment she ever could, and that's when she booked her party at Mara's house, because what she said is, not only are you good, Lori, and this was fun, but I want to do it again. So thank you, Shanna, and I look forward to all of you paying me the same compliment because you had so much fun tonight when you book your own party or join my team. So let me tell you a little bit about what's going to happen. How many of you have ever heard of Dove Chocolate Discoveries? That's what I thought. Not as many as I would like. So what you're going to experience tonight is some fabulous ways of cocoa-inspired foods, things that you didn't even imagine, things like Cocoa Roma pasta sauce, chocolate martinis. We're even going to finish up our chocolate truffle brownies with a nice cup chocolate truffle coffee, plus a few other things. And then you're going to hear about all the great things that Shanna's getting as a host and Mara got as a host, and you're going to get a chance to book your own party. You can do it in the middle of the party, at the end of the party, or right now. Just raise your hand and say, I want to do it, and I've got you all set, okay? And you're also going to be hearing about my business, because you know what? I would not be doing you justice if I didn't share with you how this might change your life like it changed my life 26 years ago and still changes my life today. So who's ready to get started, trying some things, hearing about this great opportunity, and hearing what great things a host can get? So they're expecting me right now to ask them about all of the above. Tell them and ask them. So that's what we call a power statement. I am setting the precedent for everything that's going to happen. So the most important piece next to 21 Days to Success is to write your power statement. Feel free to share your power statement with me, but more importantly, share it with in writing if you want. So at the end of today, we're out of time in 3 minutes. So here is what I need you to do. Even if I checked you in on my little roll sheet at the end of every single call to stay on my list, this is really important. If you want to keep getting the invitation back to these calls each week, before the end of tonight, in fact, I suggest you hang up and do it right this second so you don't forget. You need to send me your aha moment. Like what was your aha? And you may have 1, 2, 3, it doesn't matter. Just share. I want to know. I want to make sure I'm delivering stuff that you're finding useful. Share with me your goal and your work hours. If you want to share your power statement, you can do that, or you can send that later in the week, or you don't have to send that at all. But if you want, I love reading them and I love, giving feedback. I'm going to ask that you also copy your upline leader, manager, sponsor, whoever really you work with when you copy me, because I always want to keep them in the loop because they get to work with you much more closely. And then the last thing is to make sure what coaching group do you want to be part of, because it's first come, first serve, and when one fills, it's full. And the times on that, let me open it up and tell you. The times on that is, I'm not finding it. Just a minute. Let me look on my calendar. I believe it is 11 a.m. Monday. No, sorry. That's wrong. I said that wrong earlier. Let me go to my calendar. The times for our coaching calls are 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern on Monday, or 6:45 Central, 7:45 Eastern Monday night, or Tuesdays at 11 a.m. noon Central. Noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern. So let me know which one you want to be in, and it is part of your job to be part of your expectations to be part of that. So some of you have already sent it again in case I missed it. It won't hurt. And but I believe I've got all the ones down that you've responded to. So we have no minutes left. It is straight up. I told you I'm really prompt. And I hope you appreciate that. And that's what a leader is, timely. And so go have a great evening. And I look forward to getting your emails, everybody. Good night.